Boys, welcome back to the shop and welcome back to the channel. It's been a little while since we were in the shop last time. I believe you guys saw it. It was relatively clean in here because I just brought in the red truck to pull the transmission out to do the 6-speed manual transmission swap on it. So I'll be straight up and honest with you guys, I did not film any of it. I mean, a couple clips and a couple photos. But what I've done so far, it's not ready, it's not done. If it was ready done, the opening clip would have been driving this thing, slamming some gears. But long story short, this week here in Sutton, California, we had some rain. We had a couple complete downpours and it shut down our logging job. So what that means when we shut down the logging job is we got to occupy our time with something else. And we have the benefit of a shop. Stayed nice and dry in here, stayed warm. Actually got a little too warm. I had to turn the cooler on while it was complete downpour outside. And I just cranked up the music and just did my thing. I'm sorry guys, I didn't bring you along for that. We're catching up now. But it was very relaxing not having to worry about the camera and just doing my thing. And to be honest with you guys, trying to squeeze a G56 manual transmission into a 12 valve, second gen, it's not made for it. There wasn't, you know, if you put a NV4500 in the place of the 47, NV4500 is a 5-speed manual transmission that this truck was offered with. It's very easy to swap one of those in there. Everything just bolts right into place like it was designed for it. But putting the G56, a G56, I'm trying to educate some people because they say I don't tell them enough. But the G56 is the last transmission, standard shifting transmission that Dodge or Ram offered in their later generation trucks. And I really like it, and I wanted to put that in this truck to make it even more holy. So, like I was saying, nothing really matched up very well. There was one little bit that, you know, kind of helped us, but for the most part, she was very tight. The bell housing for the transmission does mount right up to the adapter plate on the back of the back of the engine. Same thing, all of them are the same. But we'll go down in there and I will, I guess, I'm going to show you right here because this just excites me right here. Just this fact alone. Look at that. Can you believe it? We got a hole in the floor with what looks like an option for the stick shift to come right on through there. I actually put this transmission up in there. It's got a brand new 450 horsepower Valera clutch single disc because I don't want to be hating my life with my left foot going through a dual disc. I'm tired of that. But I put the transmission in and there's a little bit of rust on the input shaft. So it got stuck in the bearing that's in the flywheel and it actually wouldn't come back out. It wouldn't go together and it wouldn't come back out. So I took it back out, cleaned that all off, greased it up even more, and it went together perfectly. Go figure. Obviously I should have taken the rust out, but I didn't think it was that bad. Put the transmission back up there where it's supposed to be, and I marked to make that hole in the bottom of the floor because I don't want to be putting a bunch of holes in the bottom of the floor and having to, you know what I mean? You're chasing the rabbit's hole trying to do that. So, cut my hole out, put the transmission in there, and as you can see, it fits very well, and I'm very happy with that. Next thing came with the Crossmember. I'll crawl underneath there and show you guys the struggle that had. But trying to film all this, it would have been kind of hectic and probably been a little boring for you guys. It's easier just to update you guys with a long-winded intro like I'm doing now. I apologize if you guys don't like my talking. Fast forward or... Anyway. The 47 that came out of it, the 4-speed automatic, light-duty transfer case and all that. This truck has 229,000 miles on it. Don't know how many owners it is, but it's still got a clean title, despite this dent on the back bummer part right here. But every part that I took off this transmission really hinted at this might be the original tranny out of this truck. Now, there's no telling if that's confirmed or not, but I'm going to pull this tranny apart at some point and see what the internals are and see if there's stock components or if they've been stock rebuilt. I'll be able to tell, I'm hoping. But just coming apart, the bolts weren't twisted, the nuts weren't, you know, rounded over by, you know, everything just looked fresh. So that automatic might have made it 230,000 miles until I looked underneath it and discovered some issues. But we weren't going to trust that transmission anymore, so the man's mission is now inside the truck. But let's go ahead and show you guys what we're doing right here. Now I went over to my buddy's truck and I took a couple measurements of where the output shaft on the transfer case kind of rode, and we're gonna test that today. I gotta throw a transfer case in here and see if we're at the right ride height. Now, I don't have this guy in there right now, but that is the factory transmission mount for the G56. I had to do a little bit of hogging out right here and here. It's a little crude, and I was starting to get a little frustrated, but it's hard to get an angle grinder up in there, but it's not too terrible. Got to get 3 bolts in there, and it is tight, I will say that much. It actually touches the ceiling, or the floorboard right there. I put a socket in between there and jacked the transmission up. It wasn't touching by a lot, but it bent the floor just enough by jacking the tranny up with a socket in between there, and she fit pretty good. Little tight, but we still have made progress. So that's what you guys have missed out for a couple of days, and maybe I'll share a couple other stories. But let's go ahead and grab a transfer case, throw it underneath here. Oh, I apologize, long-winded, but let's get that transfer case and check the ride height. Now, I'm a little undecided on what transfer case I'm going to use. If I'm going to go and use a big Haas and make this work, modifications will be needed. Or if I use this one here, this is that came off of an MV4500, bolts right up, no problem. Output shaft will be what I need, and it'll have the vacuum lines. And the front drive shaft bolt pattern should be the same. I don't know if they're different, I have not checked, but this one will bolt right in very easily. But it's weak in comparison to that. Don't know, but for right now, I'm going to throw this one up there in order to get the measurements that I need to check the ride height that we need to discover, see if it's going to work in relations to the pinion angle or the yoke and all that stuff, so that our drive shaft isn't too excessive tilted or whatever. Just so you guys know, I was carrying the transfer case while I set that camera up. You're welcome. These things are way easier just to do this route rather than put it on the transmission jack. It's way easier just to do it by hand. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna have to double check this because I don't remember if I measured off of this right there. I just stuck it to the roof. But I can't go any higher. I would have to be able to go lower. But if I measured off right there on my buddy's truck, the 97, we are pretty much 100% in the money right there. Cannot believe that. But I don't think it's enough to affect us. I think we're right there in the mix. I just got to do a little bit of trimming up there, and man, that is close. I don't know if that'll work for the drive shaft though. Gosh dang it. There's so many variables when you're doing stuff like this. Big transfer case up there. You know what I mean? Alright. I'm going to put the other transfer case up there. While I do that, you guys can watch the video of me unboxing the new clutch and showing the pictures and all that stuff when I was in the progress of doing what I did when you guys weren't around. So go enjoy. This is the Valera single disc clutch for the G56 that's going to be going in the 9812 valve. You got to be careful depending on which ones you go with. The fact sometimes you need a little expander plate that moves your starter farther away from your flywheel just a little bit, but this doesn't seem to be the case. This is like a wow, look at that. This is a big hoss of a flywheel. For some reason this thing just seems intimidating to me compared to the rest, especially stock. But I want to film this now because I'm just on a roll right now. I'm going to throw it up in the truck. Well, we got good news and bad news. Bad news is the quad, I never use it enough. I know you guys like this quad, don't you? She's a gem. the battery charger seems to be getting used all the time lately in my poor bike. This is all new parts. This is all for, that's for Grandma's truck actually. Those are lights for the trailer and some other stuff that you guys probably already saw. But my poor bike is just getting buried back there, and it's got a little trickle charger. But I went up there and I measured the output shaft for the transfer case. Its height to the bottom, the floorboard of the truck, and we're actually only about 3/4 of an inch lower. I can't go higher. I can't go and meet it exactly where it was, so I think we'll be all, you know, be okay. So we're gonna let that ride, but I'm thinking about this. So we're gonna see if the transfer case, the front drive shaft, is the same. So let's go ahead and grab one of these, because I don't know what any of this stuff, you know, what goes to what and which is gonna match. Well, so this is the front drive shaft out of the truck. This is the G56 transfer case, whatever number it is, I don't know. It's big. There's a lot of numbers on the side. If you guys know what this is called, what model number, let me know. So if this works out, that'll be easier for me to source parts for the front, for this, you know, because I'm going to need to get this drive shaft. I can just get this one made longer to the appropriate length. If this works out, bolts right up to it. It's just the rear drive shaft, because I want to use a one piece right here, this big Larry. And that will fit right in the back of that big transfer case. That's the one that's for it. But I just have to get the appropriate yoke. I think it just needs to be shortened, probably a couple inches. We'll get underneath there and measure that right now. But I'd like to go with that bigger one, I'm thinking. I don't know. There's so many variables. If you guys are keeping up with this video, you can see I'm all over the place. But I'm gonna pop this off right now and see what it looks like to convert this thing to a manual shifter. All right, so we got a little bit of a curveball. It's not just a smooth jawed paw thing. It's a weird, there you guys can see it better what it is. Weird gear with a keyway thing on it. It's never simple. But if I use that one on this truck and go through the hassle, when I do the 5-speed swap on Grandma's 12 valve, everything will be bolt right in, no problem. So do the hard stuff now, easy stuff later. I think that's what we're gonna go with, and that way this truck is solid. Plans quickly change, I'll say that right now, gentlemen and ladies. But look what happened here. So, kind of glad I didn't try to force this one up in here by hand, because this, well, it had fluid in it, it started dripping, and I didn't want to risk spilling on myself, but there's not enough room. I don't think there's enough room. No, there's not enough room. She won't fit. Unless, hang on, give me a minute. Well, guys, it is so close to touching on the right side. Oh, if you guys could only see, well, yeah, you can see, it's close. I had to trim a little bit of the transmission. Some of the mold had to trim it out of the way. And it's touching over here. So this transfer case, I know you guys want to go heavy duty, but she is not going to fit. So, for the time being, Grandma's truck is, I pressure wash it off every time I have the pressure washer going. It just takes some time to get all the road grime and all the oil leaks that thing's ever had off of it. So, this is the transfer case that was supposed to go on her truck. The, just a bigger input shaft and output. I don't know if the output shaft, I think the output shaft would have been the same as this one. But, it's got the 29 spline. So, this one's going to be used on this truck until I get something going on with Grandma's. But for the now, it'll be easier getting drive shafts, 100% easier getting drive shafts for this setup. I have this box right here. This is another pedal assembly, too tall. This isn't the ones that you sent me, brother. This is another set I bought off eBay. I don't need this whole thing on here, this all aluminum cast thing. I just need the pedals. So I'll harvest those out of there. How you get those out is pop that C-clip off the side, get that thing out of there. They use some really, really nasty grease to get those out on the sides. I mean, get that pin out. So that thing is, she's stuck in there, but I did get an extra go fast pedal. Yeah, brother. So this video has been pretty much a catch-up video. A lot of trial and error. You can see there's a transfer case that will not fit underneath the truck. Goes to show you the size difference when it comes to these newer trucks versus the old ones. And these mirrors, I mentioned a while back, if you go on VBELTANDSON.com and buy 2 of my hats off of me, I will give you a set of these. Nobody claimed the mirrors, so I didn't want to just send the mirrors to some old boy that ordered 2 hats just trying to, you know, whatever. Ends up he doesn't even need the mirrors when somebody else was trying to. So again, the stock tow mirrors, they are not power assist in any way, not heat or anything. For a 2nd gen Dodge, they are tow mirrors, flip up. VBELTANDSON.com. Let me know that you want the mirrors when you ordered the 2 hats. So I didn't want to just give it to somebody that didn't want them. I want somebody to want them, that they can use them. But we're gonna end this video right here, guys. We did actually make some progress here tonight. I have the transmission notched in there where I want it. Again, the clutch is in there, everything's ready to go. All I have to do at this point, a couple of you guys mentioned some stock intake elbows. I did fire the truck up just to hear it run the other day, and I had forgotten that I took an intake off so that I can do block off this plate right here. I need to make one of those. But a couple guys mentioned they had the stock one they were willing to part with. You need to get up in contact with some of those guys and get one of those. But I had a piece of plastic on the grid heater. Luckily, it just melted the plastic and it started smoking just as soon as I keyed the truck on. But we fired it up. We have the correct wires crossed so that I can start it, being that there's no automatic transmission saying park or neutral underneath there. But truck runs, but without an intake on it, without no turbo applying any boost, you rev it up too much. I experienced this with my buddy's race truck out in Wyoming one time. Just got the truck back together, just eager to rip it. Middle of the night, fires it up, no intake horn, as somebody else had it, I don't know why. Fire the truck up, give her a rip, and these trucks, a Cummins will backfire if there's no turbo applying any juice to it. I just want to say that now. So I burped it, this thing got a little rowdy, and started backfiring a little bit, and I don't like the sound of that. But once this thing gets back on the road, I do have the new MBRP exhaust to go on there to make this thing sound tame and awesome. But we're gonna end this one right here, guys. This is, you know, it's a catch-up video. There's just so much fitment issues trying to get that thing in there. I can't just film it all. But the next video it'll probably be drive shafts being cut to the right length and put it underneath the truck. And this thing is very close actually to being able to rip right now. Just cutting the hole in the floor, that was stressful. I don't like cutting on the truck, but having that hole in the floor, you can see where it sits now that it's actually on. Oh, I gotta get a light for you guys. Gosh dang it. See where it sits now with the transmission in the correct spot. It is so close, but that's pretty much where it needs to go. Oh, and I gotta do a killer dowel pin on this truck still. Just to check front main if it works, but I did a lot of talking this round, guys. I apologize, but if you guys stuck through the end, thank you very much. We did hit 25,000 subscribers about 15 times today. It went back and forth between 24 and 25. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate and love every one of you guys. All the positive ones. The negative ones too. You guys make me laugh. But anyway, keep up positivity, guys. Get out there, do your thing. Make something happen. It is, you guys care to know what time it exactly is right now? We're out here having fun. Lose sleep, have fun. Get up tomorrow, make some money, so we can just have fun all over again. Hopefully you have fun at work too. But anyway, guys, hit them buttons for me. Like, comment, subscribe. We will see you all in the next one. Later. All right, guys. Side note, though, if anybody does have a 241 heavy-duty transfer case with the 29 spline input shaft for a manual transmission and is willing to part with it, comment it below or hit me up on my email. I'd be more than willing to make a deal with you guys if somebody has one lying around. Or if you guys know where to buy one that's not expensive. My neighbor's money tree ran out. I took his money tree. Anyway, see you guys later. Have a good one. Happy Friday. Later.